True love plants its feet and kisses you on the mouth. Mwah! Beautiful. Rugby. Deep down, we all kind of knew it would happen again, right? The Crusaders just kind of had that look about them the whole month. Even though they were traveling to Hamilton to face the only team that have beaten them twice this season, my friends and I all kind of knew they were going to win. And so doom came to pass for the 7th year in a row. Razor and his Warriors edged the Chiefs by 25 points to 20 in a cracker of a game to become the champions. They completed their evil work by doing the ceremonial breakdance, thereby cursing FMG Stadium for 1,000 years. All jokes aside, we have to give Scott Robertson major kudos. In my valued and highly regarded opinion, he is the greatest Super Rugby coach of all time. 7 titles in a row, with injuries and players leaving and even having his assistant coaches taken away. No one else comes close. Let's just hope his brilliance is not as all-conquering at the international stage. Us South Africans crowned our domestic champions this past Saturday as well. The defending champion Pumas travelled to Bloemfontein to face the Cheetahs in the final. Neither of these are currently ERK teams, but they battled through teams with more resources and more heralded players to have a chance at gaining the Currie Cup. Like the Crusaders, the Cheetahs won their 7th title after beating the Pumas by 25 points to 17. Unlike the Crusaders, this was the Cheetahs' 7th title ever, not their 7th in a row. The Sharks better pull up those socks. They are currently only on 8 titles. And now, I choose to say that the domestic rugby season is over. Also, since we bookend periods in rugby with World Cups, another 4-year cycle of domestic rugby is done. So, since 2019, and thanks in large part to the world as we knew it ending, Super Rugby changed into Super Rugby Pacific. Now with more opportunities for Fijian and Samoan teams. The top 14 has become the massive league that all other domestic competitions wish they could be. The English Premiership first relegated the Saracens and then ran into massive financial issues, with now 3 top flight teams gone in one season. And from the ashes of the old Super Rugby and the Pro 14, the vibrant ERK was born. My favourite, obviously. Even with all those massive changes, the matters of rugby on the field have mostly stayed the same. Stable teams that can build cohesion under a good coach will do well. 0 out of 3 on those points for my Lions then. Maybe over the next 4-year cycle. Now, let's get into the international game, shall we? That 4-year bookend is approaching like an asteroid. The Rugby Championship starts in a couple of weeks and we got squads coming out of our ears. I covered the box squad last week, so let's have a quick look at the other 3 teams' players. The All Blacks have a good looking squad, even though there's way more debutants than I think you'd like in World Cup year. My favourite new faces include the pullback passing prop to Mighty Williams and a winger with a pretty scary boot, Narawa. I believe in the whole spine of a rugby team thing, and theirs looks pretty strong. Takiaho, Whitelock, Sevilla, Smith, Mwanga, and probably Jordan makes for a fearsome and experienced backbone. Now, the coaches just have to come to terms with the fact that you don't have to fit Bowden, DMAC, and Mwanga into every single matchday squad. Also, please keep picking Clark over Stevenson. Thank you. The Wallabies, under new coach Eddie, named their first squad this past Sunday. Lots of familiar faces, but just like New Zealand, a lot of uncapped players in a World Cup year. I guess they can chalk it up to having a brand new coach so late in the game. I think their main work-ons are discipline, reducing injuries, and retaining the ball for long periods of time. Discipline and proper rucking can be coached, and Eddie is a good coach. The Wallabies' spine is a little less settled. You've got Ulysses, Nick Frost, Valentini, White, Quaid, and Tom Wright. It does not seem that experienced. I am secretly scared of this team, and Eddie Jones is known as the ultimate short-term magic worker. Please just don't work that magic at Loftus. Finally, we have a massive 44-player training squad for Argentina, and only 2 uncapped players in there, so a lot more like the Box. They have truly become a world rugby power and can even beat the ABs in New Zealand now. And how is this for a spine? Montoya, Petty, Matera, Kubeli, Carreras, and Boffelli. And every one of those players can be replaced with just as good a player. I am mostly just relieved that we get to play them at home this year. Actually, I should get tickets that will sell out soon. Just 1 more week before we get into the thick of the championship, so there's plenty of time to overthink player selections and plenty of time for freak training ground accidents to make those choices for us. Ugh, enough of that now. The news, please. Anton Leonard-Brown has gotten a 6 weeks down to 3 ban for giving Dallas McLeod a high-speed smooch in the Super Rugby final this past Saturday. Honestly, 6 weeks down to 3 has become a rugby cliche right up there with "stop kicking so much." All sanctions are seemingly similar, regardless of what happened. And it's important to note there, all sanctions. They don't seem to be going away. Anyway, ALB will probably miss a few TRC matches and then definitely come back a changed man. And the world of rugby will change as well after seeing the example that's been made of ALB. It will definitely change. Finally, it came out yesterday that Sabu Nkosi has parted ways with the Blue Bulls after a pretty wild year for him. It seems that his mental battles are still ongoing and the Bulls could no longer provide him with the workplace or the support that he needs. I don't know. It's not good to speculate, especially on matters as invisible as mental health. All the best to him, and I hope he finds peace wherever he goes. I sure do miss watching him play. And remember to talk to your family or your friends or anyone you trust if you yourself need some help. I'm not shy to say that I've cried into my cereal bowl when the pressures of parenting and work and life just get too much. Luckily, I have very loving people that I can talk to. I hope you do too. And that's it for this week's Rugby Update. I will see you all next week when we can finally start smack talking our Southern Hemisphere rivals after watching them from afar for a whole year. We're going to crumple your team into nothingness, Tony. They are shit. Bye.